Hello, everybody, and welcome to Project Talk with James and Glenn. We are so happy to have you all here. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, as always, of course, is my brother from another mother, James.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
So this is the part where we pretend. So how are you, James? I've been talking to James for like 10 minutes.
Glenn and I both had actions in place that we were going to be here early enough to get some stuff done, and Glenn's got an injured back, and my wife is like, hey, if you're going downstairs, can you carry these board games with you? And one of the board games dumped its entire contents down the stairs. So instead of being here at 4 o'clock and getting all my stuff set up, I was here at like 24 minutes after and angry and red in the face.
Yeah, I don't think anybody who's ever owned board games didn't accidentally dump them all over the ground. So
Nadav Mavor says, we're overlapping Chris Riley's stream. I'm going to go ahead and say Chris Riley is overlapping with our stream because ours is a scheduled one and his was impromptu.
There you go. And ours is at the same time every Sunday. So that Chris Riley guy can just like take off, eh?
He can suck a lemon.
Nobody likes that guy anyway. He's a jerk.
Frank, give your jeans a tug. PG-13.
So it looks like Alan Osborne gets bragging rights today. He was the first person in the chat. We also got Scott McClellan. Mike Never Let the Machines Win. 24/7 Hinky DT Mash. Sergio HVAC A to Z. Ollie, Clint, Michael Gassell, Tom Elrod, Chris Lane, Nadav, and Alan King and Brian. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, just like wave at me in the chat, and I will make sure to give you a shout out.
I saw that Mike Never Let the Machines Win said, greetings all from near Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And it's occurred to me that we've never, during one of these streams, asked people to sound off from where they are to find out how far stretched our audience is. We know some people.
Isn't that kind of creepy, though? Like, hey, everybody, tell us where you are so we can stalk you.
Well, no, it's not like I'm saying ASL. I'm just asking for the L. Kay and I were watching a movie from like their late 90s, early 2000s. And this girl's chatting with somebody and he messages her and says ASL. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that was a thing. And it was so like ASL and she's like 22, female, like California. He's like, you sound beautiful. Want to talk?
Yeah, but now you do that and you get like 22 a question mark and where they're from. So you just never know.
I used to say the internet where the men are men, the women are men, and the children are FBI agents.
Yeah. So everything is weird to me today. I have a hard time seeing the chat, and for some reason it will not. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why I could not make it larger earlier, but
Mike got the joke. He want to talk and put talk in quotation marks. I'm doing real good at censoring what I'm saying this week, eh?
Yeah, of course.
3D Homebrew is from Manitoba, Canada. So far, we've got 2 Canadians in the chat, plus one on the screen.
Oh my gosh, that's too many Canadians. I think that's over my Canadian quota.
Don't worry, if we get enough, this entire stream's going to be sorry.
Well, and Brian is from Lyons, New York. That's really close to Canada.
It's like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, Mike said I need new glasses like James said. Well, I do. I actually need some legitimate glasses. These are just dollar store readers, but no. So now I've got the chat large, but now it's like way large and it won't let me scroll. Oh gosh, it got even bigger now. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
My chat is
huge.
But the other issue that I'm having is because I normally sit up higher than this, the screen that's in front of me is tilted. So there's like a horrific glare on it. So I can't read that one either. So maybe it's probably best that this chat is huge. I don't know. Okay, I got it. I fixed it.
I signed up for another project on Twitter this week. I don't know if you saw the brief conversation I had with somebody about the way they built a 3D printer.
No.
One of the makers posted a video of her 3D printer built out of Legos printing Legos.
Oh, cool.
So I said, you know what? Because I've got parts from 3 printers that I tore apart. So I've got enough stuff to build 3. I'm like, that sounds like a good project. Like I probably won't keep it together permanently. Probably keep it, for at least to bring it to a maker fair or something like that. But I think it'd be cool to do that. And then I was like, is it cheating if I 3D print the Legos I build it out of? But I ultimately decided that it probably wasn't a great idea because the tolerances on my 3D printed ones probably will be slightly worse than.
It probably slightly, yeah. I mean, the actual tolerance on Lego brick is amazing.
So she managed to build hers without gluing any of the pieces together.
Okay.
She had to sacrifice a couple of the thinner pieces to drill holes to mount the NEMA 17s because like she wanted to screw them to the bricks, which I think that's not a cheat either. There's plenty of Lego pieces that are designed to hold motors and stuff like that. So it's just a limitation of the fact that nobody's ever had a NEMA 17 motor that had to attach to Lego.
Right. Bricks. Yeah. There's no Lego NEMA 17.
Yeah. So we chatted for a little bit. She told me that there's a couple spots where she had to use a 3D printed Lego piece to reinforce because the tension from the belts would actually cause the A-frame towers to like collapse inwards. But so I immediately started looking, and there's obviously Lego bricks you can get where, they're the standard bumps on the bottom and then the grooves on the, I don't know if there's technical names for those parts of it. But they also have the bumps on the side. So I'm thinking if I can get some of those for the outer perimeters, and then I can run horizontal ones down the sides to reinforce the A-frame, I can probably do it without having to use any of the 3D printed parts.
Interesting.
So, and I think what I might do rather than sacrificing Legos for the NEMA 17s is I will design a NEMA 17 compatible Lego brick.
Mike just posted no Lego NEMA 17 brackets yet.
Yes. So yeah, that's my thought process. But right now, I went looking for like a decent, like just random bucket of Lego, which I knew wasn't going to be cheap. But it seems like Lego is pretty much defaulted to you buy kits to build specific projects versus here's a bucket of bricks for your kids.
No, you can still buy a random bucket.
I was on Amazon looking at it, and they had like 4 or 5 listings, and they were all currently unavailable. Don't know when or if they'll be back.
Yeah, so just go to Target. You guys got Target, don't you?
Nope, Target's all closed. We got Wally Mart.
Oh, no, they probably have them there too.
I'm gonna go to Walmart.ca right now. Speaking of Walmart.ca, I will be doing a live stream from 2 till 4 tomorrow, maybe a little bit longer, so it goes, with a 3D printer that I bought for $100 Canadian through the Walmart marketplace.
Yes, and that'll be on his channel.
Yes.
YouTube.com/print and play. Or is it JC Print and Play?
No, it's Print and Play. I got Print and Play on YouTube. I was shocked I got Print and Play on YouTube because there's also like all these different companies that do print and play board games.
Huh.
Where some components are like not 3D printed, but like printed from a printer, like scorecards and stuff like that. Or, like for Dungeons and Dragons, the what's the word I'm looking for? Campaigns. You print out the campaign booklets or whatever. So mine now.
Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, so Friday, the wife takes the 2 boys and they go to a comic book store, one town away from us, about an hour from here, 45 minutes away from here. And Xander was telling me that it was huge. It was really a huge comic book store. And he says to me, they had a Dungeons and Dragons room. And I'm like, were you playing? He's like, yeah, a room for Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm thinking, so did I.
You look like the type.
Oh, that was so long ago.
So back when I was a kid, I would go and I would buy, it was just called, I think it was like Bucket O Lego was like the name of the actual thing. It was a big red box, looked kind of like a giant Lego block, and it had like 1,000 pieces in it or whatever. But now if I search Bucket Lego, I just get a bunch of, it said Liberty brand stuff.
Oh, the other one too.
It's Print N Play.
Old one.
The letter N.
There's an old one in there. Thank you. I'm sorry, what?
Somebody in chat asked, is it Print and Play or Print and Play or Print ampersand Play? It's Print, the letter N, Play.
Yeah, it's Print and Play.
If Glenn's on his game, it's already in the description of this video.
It is in the description of this video.
Always count on Glenn. If my energy level holds up, which is a bit of an F, I will have 5 videos filmed between my 2 channels by the end of this week.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, I'm now that I've got my new set done, which if you were here last week, you got to see it. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait for the next video because I'm too lazy to move over there again. Now that the new set is done, I'm gonna have my cameras and stuff semi-permanently mounted, so it's literally just going to be that area is always clean. I come down, I do my filming, I don't do any of my building there. Famous last words?
Okay, I'll block it now on my router.
Oh. Ouch. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute him for 5 minutes.
I totally didn't see that coming. That
bad.
got me good. That was
bad.
pretty funny.
Got you, got me.
Thank you. Oh, we were giving out James's YouTube channel, and the top said, "Okay, I'll block it now on my router." Okay, so here we got it. Here's the old Coke Zero and the new Coke Zero.
Okay, let me see the badging on it. I can see there's probably a like new improved taste thing. Is that what it says?
No. You wait till you see what it says. Now more delicious.
I wonder if we're gonna get that in Canada.
Now more delicious. Yes.
Okay, so which one are you gonna try first then? Are you gonna?
Richard Rawlings has got something in common with Glenn. They both have a drink assistant.
I think you should start with the new one. I think you should start with an unsullied mouth.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't contaminate the flavor of the new one.
Okay, that's fair.
You at least have a memory of how the old one tastes. My prediction is that you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Maybe I should open them both and I'll close my eyes and have my wife like mix them around and see if I could tell the difference. But I want to taste this one first.
Yeah, no, I think so my theory is that they're going to taste the same because Coke did an analysis and found out that people interpreted the flavor of their colas differently depending on the color of the can. So now they've made that Coke Zero can look more like a regular Coke can.
Like a regular Coke can.
Yeah. You're going to be looking at it and you're going to be like, this looks like I'm holding a real can of Coke. And you're like, oh, that tastes a lot better. That tastes a lot more like Coke.
I won't look at it. I'll just drink it.
Yeah, just close your eyes and savor the flavor.
All right, let's. Chris Lane, they claimed that in 1985 too. What a disaster that was.
Okay,
All right,
hold on. Before you do it, you need to full screen yourself. Everybody needs to be here for the moment. I don't need to be here.
It's
a defining moment in Project Talk with James and Glenn.
I don't know if that's really necessary.
Maybe I need time to pick my nose. You don't know.
Okay. All right. But I look so funny sitting like this because like the table is at my chest.
You look like somebody superimposed your head onto Xander.
Well, that's it. I feel like a little kid sitting. I didn't realize I was giving Arby some free airtime. I feel like a little kid sitting at this table, but the other chairs just hurt my back too much. So,
Glenn, do you like Arby's?
Well, I do. I'd like them more if they gave me money.
That's fair. I think you and I are the only two people left that actually enjoy Arby's.
Oh, I love Arby's sauce on everything. So, all right, here we go. It's gonna go flat before I even taste it. So,
okay, I'll shut up. I see how it is. 3, 2, 1.
I can't handle the buildup. All right. I don't know.
You don't know if it's better or worse or the same?
I want to say it is different.
Hi, Grisella.
I don't think there's any difference. No, it's got a little aftertaste.
Yeah, it's got like a. I'm gonna bring you back up, James. All right. I'm gonna pop this one. No pun intended.
So to pop it.
Probably
3D Print Iceland Martin is here.
Oh, well, howdy.
Long time no see.
All right, we're gonna try the old one.
3.
It's absolutely different.
Yeah.
It's absolutely different. The old one's almost got like a. Well, I won't let her try it before I clear the palate, though, not one right after the other.
I know this one's got the aftertaste. I probably shouldn't have had it, so I can drink of that one.
This is riveting YouTube right here.
Are the cans relatively the same temperature?
Different.
It is different, isn't it?
Totally different, and this is still better.
This, to me, has more of a metallic taste to it. It's almost like they got rid of the metal taste. What did you ask, James?
Are the cans relatively the same temperature?
Yeah, I would think so.
Like, would you be able to tell the difference if you were switching back and forth? If we get Priscilla to get you to do a blind taste test to see if you can identify which is which.
Yeah, let's absolutely do that. Okay, so how about if we do this? I'm gonna let her have those, and then I won't look, and she can just give me either one of them. Just like set it right here.
Where?
Just in front of me. Are we good?
Hang on.
Oh.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to take it just by the rim up here so that original. Absolutely different.
Yeah.
So, which one do you like better?
I don't know yet.
I vote this one.
You like the original better?
Yeah, this one has an aftertaste. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, the mic
got-
picks
it's
up
got
everything.
That diet soda aftertaste. You know what I'm saying? Coke Zero doesn't have that.
Yeah, I've always appreciated the fact that, especially if you're having it with a meal, it does genuinely taste like you're drinking a regular Coke.
There's a snake in the backyard. I'm gonna go check that out.
Oh, good. If it's a Coach Whip, it'll already be gone by the time you get there. Oh, Sergio throwing down $9.99 US dollarinos. Thank you, sir. It's
Is
great.
Sergio the one that helped Chris Riley this week or last
It
week?
is. Sergio is the HVAC master. Hello, Andy. Sorry, the wife just left, but
Did I tell you about the story with my glasses last week? I don't remember now. Did we stream last week? No, we canceled last week.
no, we streamed last week.
Did we?
Yeah. We canceled the week before.
Oh, okay. I had to buy new glasses because my old glasses were 5 years old and the scratches on them were sufficient enough that I could see the scratches while I was wearing them. So I went in with the idea I was going to get a regular pair for just day-to-day stuff, and I was going to get one of the blue filmed lenses because I'm on the computer so much.
Right.
So I picked out two pair of glasses that darn near look identical, which they already, like, most people probably don't notice that I'm wearing new glasses because these frames are quite similar to my old ones. And I said, okay, so I'm going to...
I knew because you posted it to Twitter.
That's true. If you don't follow me on Twitter, then you're mean. So I said to the girl that was doing the sales, I'm going to do one with the blue lens and one without. I said, I'm going to use one for computer and one without. And she's, oh, like, you can do the blue filter on either of them. There's blue filters on my glasses right now. You can't see them. It doesn't make a difference, like, for people looking at it.
Right.
Like, okay, let's do it on both.
Blue.
So walked out, paid for it, walked out, got into the car. I get home and I said, okay, I'm like, why did I get two pairs of glasses then? I didn't need two pairs.
We've all been in that kind of situation. So I'm double fisting now. Now I really need
Yeah, no,
Oh, maybe that's the trick.
What kind of snake was it?
it was gone.
Of
Gone
course.
snake. But Zach says it was a black one.
Oh,
So,
okay. It's just a black snake.
No. big deal.
No biggies.
Maybe the true flavor combination you eat with those Coke Zeros is the two of them mixed together. Maybe that's the winning formula.
No.
No, I think that was him shaking it up in his mouth.
Can't tell.
Yeah, flashbacks to 1986.
Yeah, I don't know. Lars said you can't get the old Zero anymore in Denmark. So you can only get the all red one there.
I'm assuming that'll be the way it is everywhere pretty soon.
Well,
Oh, yes,
okay,
they are correct.
So she went to the store today and came home with 3 12 packs. The boxes are exactly the same. Like, UPC is the same, print code was the same, everything was the same, but I could see through the handle the full red can. So 2 of them are the new, and 1 of them was the old. And I said, "Oh, I got to do a side by side comparison." So regardless, Coke, we're still waiting for that sponsorship.
Yep. And then Mike did point out that last week we were live, and I did my LED sign, so I was wrong.
Yes, you were definitely wrong. Gosh.
It's only happened twice before, so I don't really know what to say.
Tom Llama in the house.
So Martin says we can get Coke no sugar and Coke original here. So the red can here is the new version of Coke no sugar. They are
right.
replacing.
Yeah, let me punch back over to here. So this is 0 sugar. I don't know if that's focusing. It probably isn't. I think I had it locked focus onto the Benchy last week. So that's the I was going to say the current 0, but that was 0 up until now, and now
it's -1.
Now it's this guy here, and it's now more delicious, which is totally an opinion. I mean, that's very,
that's a bold claim.
Yeah. I mean, now more delicious according to whom? I don't know. I don't know yet which one I prefer.
Now more delicious according to Chuck in marketing.
I think according to the janitor.
Maybe I'm only speaking because of North America, but for the past couple of years, they have had issues producing enough Coke Zero to make the masses happy. So if they've already got a super successful product, I don't know why they're messing around with the formula.
So the article that I read, they claim that they changed it to try to increase sales. And my first thought was, if you want to increase the sales, put it in all the restaurants and get rid of the Diet Coke.
Yeah, nobody likes Diet Coke.
Diet Coke is trash.
Yep.
All right, there are people that like it. I don't. It tastes very metal to me. But
I'll drink it if Coke Zero isn't there. Actually, I'll drink Coke Zero, then Diet Pepsi, then Pepsi Max, which is their answer to Coke Zero, and then finally Diet Coke.
I've put my finger on it. I like it better when you're drinking it. Mm-hmm. It's when you stop drinking it. It's the aftertaste. Yes.
That's what I hate about
it's got that lingering aftertaste that Zero doesn't. But Zero, it has a during taste. There's something that bites you when you're drinking it and it goes away when you stop. And this is exactly the opposite.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's almost weird. I don't know. Everybody's gonna have to try this. Does anybody else want a shot? No.
That I could.
Hey, you can try some. I was joking around to the people behind the camera because I can't really give them any, but
I got the joke.
So try both of them?
Yeah, try the new one first.
No, I wasn't going to drink both of them at once.
Well, I did that. It actually worked out pretty well. They canceled themselves out.
Give it a minute.
All right, clear your palate, Lillian. Now we should have water up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you can't go anywhere. No.
I mean, it's definitely different.
It is different.
It is. Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
I don't really have that much of a difference.
See, that's how I wasn't sure at first either until I continued
I
to.
tried the old one, I realized how much I like the old one.
A wild Xander has appeared. I know, and he's 40 feet tall now.
5'7".
Alan said you have to keep drinking it. That's good for sales. Well, I mean, but the thing is I can't tell you how many times I go into a restaurant and I'm like, do you have Coke Zero? And they're like, no, we have Diet Coke.
And then you just skip and leave.
Yeah, pretty much. It's so fun when you go in and you're like, you have Coke Zero? No, we have Diet Pepsi. And then it's like, or they go, is Diet Pepsi okay? No. If Diet Pepsi was okay, I would have said, I want Diet Pepsi. That's not okay.
At best,
it's not okay anywhere you go.
Have you ever had Pepsi Max?
Yes.
So Pepsi Max is the answer to Coke Zero from Pepsi.
Well, and it's so funny because that it's almost impossible to find anywhere.
it's all over the place here. Like it's always in stock the same places. Well, not all the places you find Coke.
But I mean, what about like when you go to restaurants on the fountain and stuff?
Oh, never in the fountain. I've never once seen Pepsi Max. I don't think in a fountain. Maybe at a Subway. I think at a Subway.
Our KFC Taco Bell has Pepsi Max, but that's owned by Pepsi. So, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it is anymore. Sorry, now I'm burping, and that's really rude.
How rude.
How rude. Lars said, so zero sugar is black label and with sugar is white label. Well, with sugar, I don't have with sugar in the house. It's a red can too with white writing. In fact, I think it looks just like this, but with white writing instead of the black.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw an actual Coke can. Do you know what's driving me nuts, though?
Oh, that's actually what he's saying. I was thinking, as I pour that in my keyboard, I was thinking he was talking about black, but no, he's talking about the text. So
I don't know why
a mess.
Like, Kay and I do take out a little bit more often than we should, but we usually
everybody does.
Well, we usually use it as like a substitute for cooking, so we don't like order like the greasiest thing or whatever. We order not that he's going to believe me that I try to eat healthy, you know. I've decided I need to start working into my YouTube videos as one of the largest streamers on the platform, and then just pause for effect. So I'm going to start using that as my go-to joke.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I forget where I was going. So almost routinely happens now. We have, I don't know how many cans of Pepsi. And no Coke, all Pepsi, because I order Diet Pepsi and they send regular Pepsi. And then you call them back and I'm like, we ordered Diet Pepsi and got regular Pepsi. And one time they said, well, that's all we had. I'm like, okay, but you can't substitute them. What if I'm a diabetic?
Right.
And so you've now shipped me something that literally has to go to waste because I can't start downing regular Pepsi. And then the Boston Pizza here did it. And he's like, oh, sorry. Yeah, we screwed up your order. I can send over some Diet Pepsi. And I said, okay, perfect. He goes, okay, so the only thing is the delivery guy's out right now. So it's going to be somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and a half. And I'm like, I don't want that. It's that my food's going to be cold by then. I ordered the, you know, and like it's pop. It's such a stupid thing to get upset. I didn't get upset either because it's not his fault per se. I'm like, can you just refund me? He goes, yeah, you'd have to call back tomorrow and talk to like the district manager or whatever. I can't do refunds. I'm like, so you can't give me the product I paid for, and you can't give me the money back for the product that I paid for. And so then Kate said, are you going to call them back? I'm like, honestly, it's $5 worth of pop. On principle, I probably should, but I don't want to take the time out of my work day to call Boston Pizza and be like, can I have the $5 back for my pop, please? So there's 3 separate restaurants in my hometown that I've ordered from that have shipped regular pop instead of Diet Pop. And one of them's done it twice.
Wow. I actually had a delivery.
That's right. Go ahead, finish.
I had a delivery driver from a local, it's a chain. I talk about it occasionally, but try not to give them airtime. But I had ordered a 2-liter of Diet Dr. Pepper and they didn't have it. Like the order went through online or whatever, and the store didn't have any in stock. And the kids stopped at the local convenience store and picked up a 2-liter to bring to me.
Domino's is another one that did it to us. Ordered a 2-liter of Coke Zero, and they brought a 2-liter of Coke. And when I was like, I ordered Coke Zero, they're like, we're out. I'm like, okay, but I don't want the regular Coke. Like, it's all we've got. I'm like, so offer me my money back. But like the Domino's here, I think I've talked about in the past where they've argued with me about my order, and like they talked to me condescendingly, and then I showed the receipt, and it's like, no, it was Kayleen ordered like one of those jalapeno cheddar dips or whatever to go with her pizza, and they sent one of the garlic ones. So to talk with James and Glenn. Well, now we're into pizza. Sorry, I went to pick it up. This wasn't delivery. I went in and she hands me a thing, and I bring it out to the car, and just on on a whim or something, I popped open the lid, and there's 2 garlic dips instead of the 2 cheddar ones. And Kayleen gets sick on garlic, so she doesn't.
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah. So I go back in, and I'm like, she had ordered cheddar, and you gave me, and she's like, no, she ordered the garlic ones. And I'm like, I can't imagine her ordering the, like stuttering. I'm like, I can't imagine her ordering the garlic ones because she gets sick on garlic. And she goes, well, it was the garlic ones, but I can swap them for you if you want. I'm like, swap. And she's like, okay, yeah, just tell her to be more careful with her orders next time because, like we're not supposed to swap food once it's left here. So I went back out and the labels are printed on the box and it says cheddar jalapeno. And so I went back in. I'm like, it says cheddar jalapeno. And she's like, well, that's not what came up on the screen or something like that. And okay.
Well, good for you for going back in though, because like a lot of people would have just driven off. But see, I can't let stuff like that rest either.
Yeah.
Like I would have taken the label and like stuck it to her forehead and been like, it says it right there.
The Domino's, you know how they have the app that tells you where your pizza is and all that stuff?
Right.
We'll order from them and it'll be like, well, we're ordering at lunch or whatever because, like sometimes I only get 20 minutes for lunch or whatever. So I don't have time to cook something for myself. And so I'll punch into the app and it'll show, okay, in the oven, blah, blah, blah. So we've had multiple times there where it shows delivered on the app. Fun King 3D sponsorship from Coke Zero. Awesome.
Oh my God. Did you really go in and change your YouTube name just for that?
Was that Builder's Mark?
Mark, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. But that's $10 that we have to spend on the new Coke Zero. We're not sure how we feel about it yet.
I can't even try it yet. I bought multiple cases of the old stuff. Yeah, so it'll come up delivered on the app. And I usually put in now because just for the convenience, because I can't always go to the door, ring the doorbell and leave it on the mat. And then that way they're not waiting for me. I'm not waiting, I'm not having to duck out of a meeting.
Well, I do that same thing, but it's because I don't like people.
And because I don't like people. So multiple times now it's come up as delivered and I go and my pizza's not there. And then I call and they're like, well, we're super busy. I'm like, I know, but the app show's busy. And she's like, the girl's like, do you understand how many orders we're going through right now? I'm like, okay, I understand. She goes, so we have to punch in like the progress of the orders and stuff like that. You can't always trust the progress on it because we have metrics to keep. And I'm like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Your application falls apart if you're just pressing the go button every time you're like, oh, this is about to time out,
Yep. Going to get in trouble. Got to push the button.
And like, you have a bad boss if you're having to lie through the app and customers so that you don't get in trouble if you're that swamped and you're all working as hard as you can. Well,
and the thing is if you're swamped and you're lying to it, you're always going to be swamped because they're not going to give you any extra help.
Well, yeah, well, exactly, because they're not seeing it. And what happens is that all levels out, right? Because like they get knocked with orders from 11 o'clock when they open until probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So on the system, it shows that they're matching all their deliveries. And then probably by 1:30, they've actually caught up with everything. And then everything calms down and is copacetic. But like, I've gone in there and the girl that's working, like I've gone in there and there's been one person working, making the pizzas, answering the phones and like taking the orders and also cashing people
out.
Yeah,
because they keep pushing the button that everything is okay and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, as long as we're on the topic of pizza, do you guys have Marco's Pizza up there?
I've never heard of that before.
MARCOs. All right, so they've been advertising on TV down here for some time, but we didn't have one locally, and they're finally building one locally. And Shenanigans and I were up in the next town over yesterday. Which
I saw what you picked up.
Did you get to see what I bought?
Yeah, I won't say anything because I don't know if you're repeating it. I was just
it's
talking to Sean.
What I bought is going on the other channel, so
that's fair.
It's completely hush hush because there's a lot of people that have never seen one of those.
And you know what? He showed it to me and I said, hey, it looks like a mix between this and this. He goes, that's exactly what it is.
It is exactly. I already know what you're thinking, and it is exactly what it is.
Well, so, you know what actually did it for me? Like without throwing anything away, when I saw it, and there's the seat, which is distinctly one thing, and then there's the back end and the way it's set out, which is distinctly another thing. And then finally, when you look at the front end, the front end starts as the one thing, but then ends as the other thing.
Everybody right now in the audience is like, what?
Yeah. And I can understand why, with this thing being definitely like 18 plus NSFW, why you wouldn't want to put it on Fun King 3D.
So okay, so the it's going to turn into a video series because it's running but not running. I don't know. I haven't really poked around at it. But the reason, like, because the truck is going to be a very predominant thing over on Fun King Garage. And so we want to feather this in too, just to kind of add a little variety. And I'm really not gonna, usually I give little hints and stuff. I'm not giving hints on what this thing is. I've owned one in the past. It got safety recalled. I bought another one off of Facebook yesterday.
Is this one that it was safety recalled, but the person never brought it back, or is this one that's better?
It was actually, so the original company that released them and did the recall on them ended up going out of business, and a different company released them under a different number, and all of that will come to light in the videos. But they supposedly made 150 design changes to it. So, and there are differences. Oh, that is awesome.
It's I don't 3D print stuff for other people all that often nowadays, but somebody requested me to print this planter that's an Oddish, I think. It's a Pokemon. And came out quite smooth. I was just realizing I need to take it off the bed because I have to print another part for it.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. Chris Lane said, "Not sponsor. I have nothing I'm selling right now, but soon." That's okay. There is never, ever pressure for anybody to have to sponsor any.
Mr. Pibb. Yeah, so who's that this time?
Look at the avatar.
I know I can't. My screen's a little whitewashed out, so I can't really tell.
You guys changing your screen names. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever gone in to do that to even know how difficult that is or isn't. But you guys are just killing me. Oh,
I actually do have to do some 3D print designing during this stream. This X stream.
Extreme stream.
I'm going to point this up here so it doesn't get my butt when I stand up. Hey, look, everybody. It's a ceiling with a tile that looks like it's going to fall. Oh, my body hurts, Glenn. Why was I programmed to feel...
Oh, Brian says it's easy to change.
I think you can only change it 3 times per 90 days, though.
And then you're stuck with whatever you change it to forever.
Forever and ever. Is this PLA? It is PLA. Everything's better in PLI. Did you get that reference? You should.
Sorry, I was reading back through some chats, and so now I have to change the banner now. Except for I'm not creating a banner for Mr. Pibb and Coke's. I have so many banners in here.
Do you have a Bruce banner?
A Bruce banner? Yeah, Dr. I just keep it under Dr. Banner.
I said everything's better in PLI. Just wondering if you get the reference.
No.
Do you remember the Letterkenny episode where they're talking about how people go to LA, come back with the accent, and just talk about everything's better in LA?
In LA, yeah.
They had the tacos in LA. You got to have the tacos when you go to LA. They have the best tacos. The best hiking.
David said, "Oh, I'm back. What did I miss?" Oh, my back is killing me. Oh yeah, but what I was saying was that Sean and I stopped at a Marco's Pizza on the way back, and it was quite delicious. And I'm now looking forward to them opening the nearby location. I don't know if they'll deliver to me because it's a little far away, but
Okay, and to keep this on topic, to make it relevant to what we're talking about, what kind of pop did you have while you were there?
What? Oh,
Like, there's
uh,
a certain expectation that our stuff match some criteria, Glenn. You can't just
yeah. Everything has to circle back around.
show it.
Unfortunately, they have Pepsi products, so I drank Diet Pepsi with just a shot of wild cherry Pepsi in it to just break the flavor a little.
So what I'm kind of contemplating right now, because it wouldn't take a lot for me to do, is that here.
Sergio said your ceiling is falling apart.
Yeah, the people that installed the drop ceiling didn't do a fantastic job with it. And I think they were first time renovators, because I'd hate to see this stuff done by people that had experience. But none of the tiles quite fit in properly, or have since there was gaps on corners and stuff like that when we moved in. And I was like, well, I hope those stay where they're supposed to.
Yeah, that's generally.
Dave Randall says I should 3D print a new ceiling. I'll tell you what, I will commit to 3D printing a new ceiling for above this section if Printed Solid donates all of the material required to do it.
Oh, good call out. Good call out. Yeah, I don't know about that place, that Printed Solid place. I don't
You know what? I keep singing their praises because I am in love with the fact that they have filaments that match old technology.
Here, that's how the stream's going to be from now on. I'm just going to have this instead of.
So what I'm contemplating now is that I could potentially put this desk across from my new filming area, and have it like table here and table there, so it can still be my background when I'm streaming and stuff like that and doing builds. And then I've got work area all the way around me, so I can turn around to work on stuff here. As long as I'm able to wheel the chair in and out of there, so I can film without it being in the shot, that would probably be okay.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating, but not on the toilet.
I do a lot of contemplating on the toilet. What else are you going to do on there? Play Angry Birds.
You're not saying it right. You're supposed to call it the toilet.
Toilet? Turlet?
There's feces on the side of the toilet. Not as bad as the feces ends up in the urinal.
Tom Lama said, so it costs $15 to buy Glenn. Well, no, now it costs at least $16 to buy me.
It's true.
And then it'll be at least $17. I keep drinking the new one. I don't know if it's just because, I don't know. I think I'll adapt over to the new one just fine. I don't know if I would consider it to be more delicious. But I think it's acceptable.
I just realized how unwatchable our show is because half the references we make are to shows that probably nobody here's actually watched. It's all Letterkenny or Vice Grip Garage. But I'm going to pretend that I didn't realize that.
But yeah, I'm going to do what any guy would do and just pretend like I don't understand. But I'll tell you what, that's two things that everybody should watch. Because even if you're not a car guy, watching Derek on Vice Grip Garage, he is hysterical. He's absolutely hysterical. And the way that he is with his kids is amazing. He is a really great dad. I mean, he doesn't once hit his kids like I do.
But he still gets the same free labor out of them for some reason.
Well, that's what's weird is his kids like to help. And I say to my kid, you want to go to the garage and work on cars? And he's like, no, I'm good, thanks. You're a jerk. But
prints to printers.
But then of course Letterkenny is just funny. Everybody should watch that too. So
figure it out.
I was watching the Motor Trend channel last night because it's like the only car-based TV channel that we have. But they were advertising something that they were doing, live streaming on their Motor Trend app, and like they flash a car, and I'm like, that's Derek from Vice Grip Garage's car. And then all of a sudden they flash the group of the guys, and there's Derek. I'm like, he's made it on the Motor Trend. But then he says things, because I'm from Minnesota, and he says things that like my dad used to say, and it makes me laugh. Like just little, sayings and slogans and stuff. And it's like, yeah. Makes me warm and fuzzy.
But not in the biblical sense.
Ryan said you have to give them incentive. Well, the incentive is I don't put a boot in their rear end. And that is absolutely lens distortion. Those bookshelves are not saggy. When James put those bookshelves up, he used a laser level to make sure that they were dead on perfect.
Yeah, no, I will admit that those boards were actually had a bit of and they made fun of me the last time, and David Randolph is in chat, so he's going to do it again. They have a bit of a wow in them. They had the wow in them when I originally put them up. They haven't bent more under the weight. I keep intending to go back and add like a 2x4 across to like strengthen it and straighten it out. But I'm very lazy. So usually I just don't show it. Usually I just, like aim it just low enough and just away. Actually, what I used to have was a roll down screen I could put in front of them so you couldn't see them.
Yeah, he tries to angle his camera so it looks like camera warpage, but
my head's saving it. Yeah,
it's legitimate. It's legitimate.
But you'll also notice that the shelves are like more or less empty now. The ones that are sagging, because I do intend to eventually fix that. Probably, maybe.
Chris Lane said, I haven't seen that yet, but I have seen B is for build, Tavares/wrench every day, Hoovie's Garage. Those are fun. Yeah, you got to go check out Vice Grip Garage. So James had mentioned Vice Grip Garage one time, and I had watched one video on there, and I don't even remember what video it was. I'm sure I'll come across it again, but I just couldn't handle it. Whatever the video was, I'm like, this is awful. And then I ended up watching one of his videos where he goes and buys these cars sight unseen, 1,000 miles from home, and gets it running. After it hasn't run in 30 years, he gets it fired up and then drives it home, and then I was hooked.
That's the thing that gets to me, is that he does that.
Yeah.
Or like the one where he bought the car that he'd entered into a competition before he'd even seen it.
The Corvette.
At the end of the week, I got to bring it to this competition, so we got to get started on that.
Yeah, buys the Corvette in Tennessee, and before he even gets to Tennessee to see the car, he's got it in a burnout contest down here in Florida.
Yeah.
where he promptly caught it on fire, but whatever. It'll be fine. It's fine. But my absolute favorite is when he goes, yeah, that'll be fantastic. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Or he'll go, yeah, that's a really good idea. No, it isn't. It's a terrible idea. Hello, John Mack. Comes in and says hi to David, but
So the thing I'm designing, so we have an above ground pool, but it's one of those I'm going to say Canadian Tire Specials, which doesn't mean anything to anybody that's not in Canada, but it's like a Lowe's or Home Depot one where you buy the kit and you build it in your backyard yourself. You don't, it's not professionally installed. And it's got, like a metal frame, but then there's no paneling around it. So the liner is exposed.
Okay. Yeah.
You've probably seen those before.
Yep.
So it has a skimmer basket on it. And that's the only intake for the water. So stuff that settles to the bottom, you can brush it up as much as you want, but it doesn't cycle the water fast enough to, get the stuff that's going to fall back down.
Right. Yeah. Too small of a pump.
Yeah. So what I did is I bought a vacuum for a larger pool, like one of the, the ones that you attach to the pole and it's just got an intake on it.
Uh-huh.
And the intake for the skimmer basket is very easy to remove because I didn't add a clamp onto it in the pool section, because if it detaches in there, it's not really that big of a deal because it's still just sucking water. So what I'm now designing is a filter trap that I can then stick onto the intake that would normally be attached to the skimmer basket. And then the other end will fit onto the hose for the vacuum. because the pump can't handle large debris going through it. So this piece that I'm designing will have the same grid pattern that the skimmer basket has, which is what filters out stuff that's too big for the pump. So I can then, when the pool needs to be vacuumed, which isn't very frequently, it just needs a real good one at the beginning of the year every year. I can detach the hose from the skimmer basket, connect it to this filter piece that I'm building, and then connect the vacuum to the other side, and then vacuum the bottom off. And the grid on this will capture all of the extra crap. And then all I have to do is detach it from this and then clean the trap, and we'll be good to go. So
sounds good in theory.
I've already tested the concept and the fact that I just connected the vacuum directly to the pump, and I cleaned a lot of stuff off the bottom until the pump lost a lot of its pressure because all the stuff got stuck in the intake for the pump.
Okay.
So then I shut off the pump and ran water back through it, and all the extra crap came flying out of it, and the pump was okay. But then I realized that that's probably not the best way to do it. Trusting the pump to not suck in something that's going to blow it up is probably not a great idea. So I think it will, but also I'm 3D printing it. So if it falls apart, so Brian had asked, will it hold up to the chlorine? My pump filter is actually for the past 2 seasons been held together by PETG 3D printed parts, because there was still water in the sand filter when I put it away the first year we had it, and I didn't realize there was water in it. And when it froze, it pushed the like the whole flange and the whole I forget what the actual like intake cylinder is called. It pushed the entire thing and shattered the original pieces that lock the top part of the sand filter down. So I contacted the company. They said it was a non-standard size part, which I don't know whether it's true or not. So I was like, so they're like, you have to replace the entire sand filter. So I spent $18 on PETG and printed some really high infill, thick walled pieces, and it's been fine. But all it's dealing with is UV. It's not hitting water directly.
Yeah, they probably have them made overseas, and they don't have extra parts for them, and they just want to sell you another one.
That's true, and they don't sell the exact one that we have anymore. It seems like they change it every year, which I'm sure that's probably semi-standard practice too.
Yeah.
So now I have to figure out how big the holes on a skimmer basket are. How big are the holes on
How big are the holes?
Yeah.
3-4 millimeter square.
That's probably pretty close. I'm just gonna Google it to see if there's an exact sizing on it. Probably
John
not.
Mack said print and play to print and swim.
So the other thing that I did was the second test run I did with it was I used a piece of cheesecloth where I joined the 2 hoses together.
Yeah.
And that caught all the crap, but could only run it for 10 seconds before it got clogged up enough that you can, because then you're dealing with an inch and an eighth hole.
Right, clog very quick. Plus, not only that, but it would disintegrate pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was like it held up for me to rinse it out 3 or 4 times, but like that wouldn't be like you'd be replacing that every single time you did it. So my part probably will outlast it already has. The first one lasted 1 year, and we're into our second year with that. So, but that's PEBCAC right there. I made dumb mistakes.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know.
I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see that. So I want to tell a little bit of the story from this week on how I ended up hurting my back, but I don't want to give away too much because it will also be on the garage channel. But I ended up hurting my back unloading the new truck, and the guys who delivered it, he called me on Monday and said he was picking it up, that they were going to pick it up, and that they wanted to drop it off Tuesday morning, first thing, like 7 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning. So 24 hours, or less than 24 hours from when they're picking it up in Kansas City to dropping it in my yard in Florida. I thought that was a little ambitious, but okay. They didn't get here until 8:30 Tuesday night. So it was a little ambitious. But when they went to pick it up, I got a phone call, and he said, "You know that this truck doesn't have a wheel." And I said, "Yeah, it does. It's got 3 of them." He didn't have the same sense of humor I did. We're cool now, like now that he knows me, it's a little different, but he didn't find that to be too humorous at first. And then he's like, "I don't know how I'm going to get this off the trailer." And I said, "Listen, I already told the shipping company all of this. This conversation should have already taken place." I said, "But you get it here, and I promise you, I will get that truck off the trailer." Well, there was a couple of things that I didn't take into consideration. One, it was not the back truck on the trailer. It was a 3-car trailer, one of the ramp type like this, and they had put it at the front. It was nose up and not, or it was nose down and not nose up, which I was expecting. I was expecting it to be, butt to the butt. And his trailer was made out of the most coarse expanded metal I've ever seen in my life. I mean, like the worst cheese grater you could imagine. And so it took us a couple of hours to winch that thing down off of that trailer and onto my trailer, which was hooked to the back of my Ford Flex. When the front of that new truck hit the back of the trailer, the back wheels of the Flex just about came off the ground. Oh, good times. But all of that is coming up on Fun King Garage. You will get to see video. I had Sean out there filming everything, so you're going to get to experience all of that. It was good fun. Brian says, off topic, Glenn. There's nothing ever off topic around here. What's your dream car? Oh, that's a tough one. I have many.
I talked about that last week.
There's a lot of cars that I would consider a dream car. I mean, like I'm a huge Ferrari fan, and there was a point in my life when I almost bought one. I almost bought an 80s 308, Magnum PI. But it needed brakes, and I found out it was like $1,200 an axle for brakes. And I thought, well, I could afford the car, but I couldn't afford the maintenance, so I didn't buy one. Top 4, a Koenigsegg. Definitely a Koenigsegg. God, that's tough. I mean, I guess if I could have 4, a yellow Corvette. Why you gotta bring that up? Too soon. Kind of sad that I had to sell that car, but I mean, if I could get 4, like if somebody said, okay, you can go get any 4 cars that you want, I'd have to have a pretty like mean truck. And by mean, I mean, something like my truck when it's running, something that'll do anything that I need it to do. Well, Chris, this was like way long time ago. I don't know if there was a 328 back then, but yeah, I would have to. Where would we find a link to this Fun King Garage? In the description of this video.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Or youtube.com/Fun King Garage or funkingarage.com or a Raptor. The Raptor trucks are really cool, but I would need something with more towing grunt. I mean, I would want like one really super fast car. So like, a Koenigsegg would be great. I would want one very functional truck. So like, my 450 or a 550. or even go bigger, like get up into the 650 or 750 Ford or a 6500, like a Kodiak Chevrolet would be fun. No Dodge pickup trucks. Yes, I currently own a Dodge pickup truck, but that's only because they got the Cummins contract. Then I would want one like really nice sedan, like maybe a Maserati, like a 4-door Maserati. Or like a really nice, like a Mercedes or BMW. Oh yeah, there's a 754. It would be like the front of like a U-Haul truck or a dump truck. Like it's a heavy duty truck. It's not a medium duty. And then I would want one super efficient, so like a Tesla. So if I was going to drive a long way. Maserati and a full-time mechanic. You know, it's funny because a buddy of mine, his boss has a Maserati, and my friend brought it to the house one day, and I was really not super impressed with the build quality, but it's got a great sounding engine in it. So, McLaren would be fun. McLaren could definitely be fun. 71 Hemi Cuda, Hemi Orange preferred, obviously. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of old muscle cars. I'd love to have a 72 Chevy Nova built well, or like a 69 Camaro built well. Why not just put a truck bed on a Peterbilt? It's pretty close. I was actually, before I bought my 450, my goal is I was going to buy a Chevy Chevy Kodiak GMC Top Kick, which is like the 5500, 6500 series trucks. But then you have to take them to an upfitter to get the interiors done so that they're not all plasticky and truck-like. And then you have to have a bed put on the back. And the truck was like 45 grand, and then it would have been another 45 grand for the upfitting. This is 10 plus years ago. This was back in 07. Yeah, 07. So I'm sure there are a lot more now. But cab over Pete with a reefer on. But that's when the 08 Ford was released, or like they were saying it was coming, was back then, and I fell in love with that. So it was my first Ford, and now it makes me angry because my 70 some odd thousand mile Ford is dead. But it's okay because I have a Cummins for it.
Can't keep track of all your Cummins and goings.
What's that?
I can't keep track of all your Cummins and goings.
My Cummins and goings. Yeah, it's so funny because I so want to share everything about that project, but it's on the other channel, and it's not there yet, but it will be. It's coming. We've been filming stuff. It's Cummins. We've been filming and picked up a couple more GoPros for some more angles, so that's going to be fun. Ferrari 458 Spider, that'd be good. Toyota Land Cruiser, Mercedes-Benz S600. The only problem with Mercedes-Benz is they spend more time on the back of a tow truck than they do on the highway.
Let it roll. Do, 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 do.
Audi R8 would have been great too. Yeah, I just seen one of those a couple weeks ago going down the road. I'm really liking the new Corvettes too. Like the new ones. They get me every time I see one. I'm like, what? Oh, it's a Corvette. Hey, Paul. Doing good. Glenn's favorite car is an AMC Pacer. Yeah, I'd like to buy one of those for my sister. In fact, one for each sister. Maybe one for each day of the week for each sister. says the guy who wants a Maserati. Yeah, that's true. And a Ferrari. Those Ferraris are a lot of maintenance too. But no, I've always wanted like a early 90s 300ZX, like a 93 Turbo Z. Be fun. But older Supra, yeah, something in the like mid 90s. Older Supra, or even older than that. So I don't know. My problem, I own 6 AMC Pacers in varying states of disrepair. Used to drive one daily. Oh my gosh. My problem is it's not that I get bored of cars, but I get bored of cars. Like, it's not that I get a car and then get rid of it and get another car. I get a car and then I get another car. And then I get another car. Had I bought that Dodge Dually out of Jacksonville, I would have owned a Chevy Dually, a Ford Dually, and a Dodge Dually all at the same time. Because for those of you guys who don't know, I have Daisy, who is a Chevy Dually. Pretty sure everybody in this group knows about Daisy, right? Might have to find the pictures of Daisy again.
Why is this being like this? Why are you gotta be so rude?
I don't know. I could do that in Rhino.
Could you though?
Yeah. Thanks, Fast and Furious. There you go. Chris Lane said the Supers are expensive now. Thanks, Fast and Furious. Yeah, just like the DeLoreans. Thanks, Back to the Future.
That was the discussion from last week.
Yes, it was. These threads always go to cars. Because it's my life.
It's now or never. See, that's not a song for the brokenhearted. Something farted.
So I was watching How Ridiculous YouTube, How Ridiculous, the guys that drop crap off of the tower. God, I love those guys. And like they're filming, one of them just like rips a big old fart, and he's like, "Whew, anybody hear that? I just let out a major toot," and that made me laugh.
A major toot? That's what did it for you?
He's like, "I just let out a major toot. Did anybody hear that?" I'm like, "That's so funny." That made me laugh so hard. I mean, any YouTuber that's willing to just like cut the cheese right on the video.
Right on the stream the other day.
And then the editor that was kind enough to put it in there, just brilliant.
It's fart jokes all the way down.
All the way.
Well, there's half of the design done, and the stream's past halfway over, but I started late, so that's the filter part. So now I need to bake something that latches onto that so this is where all the grime will end up, in theory.
Just make sure it's easy to clean it.
That's the thing. So the other part I haven't decided how I'm gonna have it snap on yet. It doesn't need a lot of force to snap into place because there's going to be a suction applied to this the entire time. So I'm not real worried about getting yanked apart easily. But something pterodactyl.
What?
There was there's a College Humor skit called Zordon is a Racist, making fun of the original Power Rangers.
Okay.
Because of some of the unfortunate color combinations they used. And there's a part where he goes, where they've got Zordon, and he goes, listen, Jason's the leader because he's the Red Ranger, and you're the Pink Ranger because you're a girl. And then she's like, what? And he goes, I mean, something pterodactyl. Anyways, it's not very good, but like I say it's not very PC at this point, but it legitimately called out some pretty unfortunate casting decisions they made during the original run of the first, like not just the very first one, but some of the other ones that came out. Because the thing, Power Rangers is a different show every season. Did you know that?
Well, yeah.
There's 28 or I don't know how many seasons now. Only the first 3 seasons kept the same sort of cast, and then afterwards, like, introduce new cast every episode or every season, then just have a crossover episode with the old cast meeting the new cast and eating pizza together or whatever.
I'm going to share a picture of Daisy for those who have never had the pleasure of getting to see Daisy. This is my oh, that's a weird effect.
I don't like it.
There we go. That is my Chevy dually. She doesn't look like that anymore. I cleaned her up pretty good. I took the roof out of the cab and put it in the back. Got rid of all that junk out of the back of it. But yeah, that's my Scott Hack Monkey said I tuned in just in time for the fart jokes. Yeah, I figure, a little rubbing compound and maybe a dent puller, I should be able to straighten her right out. No, for those that, what end is that? For those that don't know the story behind Daisy, I bought her because she's got a 454 big block in her that is going to go into my half-ton extended cab Chevy pickup truck at some point. It would have already most likely been there had it not been for a little sideline of having to fix my dually, or my diesel. But she was hit. She was hit in the front by an excavator. The truck was parked, and the guy had taken a scoop and was coming around like this, and just kind of just clipped her right across the old front. So Scott said, with the current used truck market, that's about a $15,000 truck. Are you kidding? I want 15 grand just for the rear end. No low ballers. I know what I have. He bought it after a few beers and then went onto eBay. No, I bought that completely sober and drove 5.5 hours to pick her up. Yeah, it ran when parked. So many projects around here. So many projects. Yeah, I can't wait to share with you guys the new one. I never thought I would own another one of those things that I bought yesterday. Like, I thought they were gone. I thought no way would I ever have another one. And so I was really excited to find this one. The price was right. It was kind of far away, but not super far away. So, cars are getting way too expensive. Amen, amen. They are.
Hey, brother.
When you see some of these SUVs and trucks and stuff for $100,000+, it's like, nope. No. Nope. Just can't do it. That's why I want That's why I'm taking the time and investing the money into my truck so that I can keep it forever. Well, thank you for being here, Ann. It is a pleasure as always. Do get some good sleep.
I've had nothing relevant to add to this part of the conversation.
That doesn't matter. I can just gab on forever.
It's true. I can just put it all on you while I do this design work that I've been promising Kayleen I was going to get done for a while. And now that we have people there.
This is like the perfect opportunity for that. Big Mike asks, so what are you hauling with that F450? That's some huge towing capacity. Well, I'll tell you what I'm hauling, Mike. I'm hauling some, I'm hauling some butt. That's what I'm hauling. No, I had actually originally bought that truck to pull a 40-foot fifth wheel travel trailer. And it did so gloriously. Had no issues pulling that thing at all. Currently, all it pulls around is a car trailer. Well, currently, all it pulls is nothing because it doesn't even drive. But the fifth wheel is gone. I use it to pull a car trailer with the occasional vehicle on there. Family friendly, Glenn. But it does a fantastic job towing. I want to acquire at some point a larger trailer. I'm actually thinking about doing some transport work in the near future. So, but I have learned a lot. I know a lot of stuff about cars, but there's still some things that are magical to me, like the insides of an automatic transmission. That will always be magical to me. But I've had to look into gear change. And if this gets really boring for everybody, just tell me to shut up. But the rear end on that truck is a 488-to-1 rear end, which is massive. And with the engine that was in the truck, the 6.4 V8, it was not great on fuel. I'd get about 11 miles to the gallon. So not super great, but it would literally pull the earth into reverse rotation. So it was fantastic for that. Now switching over to the 6-cylinder Cummins, its main torque spot is at 1600 RPMs, and it likes to cruise at about 2100 RPMs as opposed to the 28 to 3000 RPMs that the Ford engine did. So gearing was going to be an issue. I was going to put a gear vendor gear splitter on there, reached out to them, and they pretty much said, our product sucks and won't hold up to what you're doing. So that was out the window. But I did find out that I can get a brand new third member with a 383 rear end for that truck for less money than the gear vendor box was going to cost me. And it will allow me to cruise nicely at about 85 miles an hour at 2100 RPMs. So that is going to be fantastic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny because, I mean, this whole conversion thing that I'm doing is all new to me. I mean, diesels are still kind of a mystery to me. But it's like every time I think I have a great idea, then I look into it and people are like, that won't work. You're an idiot.
Do you want to just message me your ideas from now and I'll just respond with that won't work, you're an idiot, so you don't have to do the Googling?
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I still figure out a way around it. So, because I love to research stuff. Like I like to learn and get smarter and get better at whatever I'm doing. So Carl asked, what was the project you sold the vet for? It is I sold the vet to have the money to buy a Dodge truck that has a Cummins inline 6 to put into my Ford. So I'm doing a conversion from a 6.4 liter Ford engine over into a Cummins 6-cylinder engine. So Big Mike said, my grandson has a 450, mainly uses it to haul 2 Pro Mod diesel pull-in tractors. Awesome. What year is it, Mike? Bye, Paul. Thanks for being here. Yeah, no, I mean, when that thing ran, it was great. I mean, it had its limitations for sure. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I think I would have just gotten a 350. Or I wouldn't have gone with the 488s on the 450. And the reason I think I would have gone to a 350 is because there's so many things available. There's so many things available for the 350 aftermarket that aren't available for the 450 because there's enough difference. You know, the much heavier duty rear end and stuff, and you know, you can't find a good lowering kit for a 450. You know, just can't lay frame with that thing. Why not just get a rear end off the donor Dodge? Then I'm going to end up having to match the drive shafts together. You know, like the yokes aren't going to be the same. Plus, that rear end that I have under that truck, it's a Dana Spicer S110. It is a medium duty rear end. Like, I will never break that rear end. It is massive. So it's around 2014-ish. Oh, he should be fine then, as long as it doesn't fall into the 2008 to 2010 range. Ford would like to erase those years. They'd like to pretend like they never happened. Yeah, I can't wait to share with you guys the Dodge. Whew. She's a beaut too. I'm just collecting trucks that are smashed in the front. So you sold a Vet for a parts truck? No, I sold the Vet for a Cummins diesel engine. I needed working capital. It was actually a good sale. I didn't drive the car anymore. It was sitting around. I hadn't put 1,000 miles on that thing in 10 years, and it went to a guy who absolutely appreciates it. Told me it was like a 35-year dream to own one. And he messaged me the other day and said it was at a restoration shop getting all new bushings and stuff put in the rear end. And then when that's done, he's going to have the front end done. And then he said it was going to a paint shop, but not to get painted. Maybe just to buff it. I can't remember what he said, but he's taking good care of it. So, oh, I love the new ones, Chris.
I even added the arrow to show water flow.
Oh, look at you. That's so fancy.
I haven't quite decided how they're going to attach together. I think I might just add like some rib lines on the inside of one of the pieces so that when they marry together, they kind of snap. But like they need to be easily separatable. So I think I'll rely mostly on the suction going through it to keep them together.
Which, yeah, that should work well. Brian asked, am I going to delete the Cummins? No. Why would I ever break the law and go against what the EPA wants me to do? I bought a 2006, so I don't have to. I could have gone as far forward as an early 2007. It wasn't until halfway through 2007 that Dodge added all of the garbage to it. But the 2006 doesn't have to be deleted. But I would never do it anyway. I know they're listening. I was at Epcot yesterday, and in Test Track they have a yellow C8. And then I was down by Tampa. We had eaten at a Cracker Barrel and came out, and there was a white one sitting in the parking lot. So yeah, they're gorgeous. There's a few of them running around here because the people are rich and stuck up, but whatever.
Tell me how you really feel.
Oh, I just can't even begin to tell you how some of the people around here are. They are very entitled. Yeah. So, but no, that's a good question, Brian, because if it was a little bit later model, I actually went with the 2006 based on recommendation from the diesel conversion specialist guys, because of the amount of power that I can get out of it just through tuning. Not that I would never alter an engine. I would only use it in its factory condition. Yeah, so, and it's I think new enough. I mean, it's a 2008 truck that it's going into, so it's a new enough engine where I feel confident in it. Now, see, without giving away too much, I can't say that the previous owner of this truck, well, I definitely can't say they took good care of it. But they weren't necessarily the greatest at maintenance, though it did have a brand new air filter in it. It's a little crushed up now, but it was a new element. But like the battery cables and stuff were kind of just pieced together. So it's definitely due for an oil change, but there no fuel in the oil. Like I pulled the dipstick and you couldn't, usually if it's like with my Ford all the time, you could smell the diesel in the oil. This one does not suffer from that, which is fabulous. They didn't leave any gifts inside the vehicle. Like they left some garbage in there, empty water bottles and stuff, but nothing good. There was no radio. They must have had an aftermarket radio that they took out, and the vehicle had a remote start, which they took out. So like I didn't get any, fun hidden treasures. Maybe after I pull the seats out, I'll find, a gun used in a crime or something. I don't know.
Especially after you put it there. Hey-o. Yeah, I think that's going to be good enough. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. I just added some additional parts where it's this has no tolerance for the other side.
Just so it kind of clicks together.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'll push out a little bit. It might slightly warp the other side. We'll see. And then if this is too much, I can just file it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're talking about 0.2 millimeters on each side, so probably not. I don't want to go more than half the size of a nozzle because then you're printing over air. Right. I think that'll be fine.
Brian said, I love the rumble of a Cummins. It's really cool. I'm trying to think of his name and it'll come to me. He's Canadian nonetheless.
Wayne Gretzky?
What's that?
Wayne Gretzky?
He's definitely Canadian. No, I don't know if you guys ever watch Gold Rush on Discovery, but this kid looks like Parker from Gold Rush, but he does diesel work. He's a welder. I feel bad for not remembering his YouTube channel, but he figured out how to program the Cummins where you have a 6-point selector on the dash, a rotary switch, and Canadians, there's only like 12 of them. You should be able to figure that out. But like you can choose the tune like on the fly. You can be like barreling down the interstate and change your tune. But one of the tunes that he programs pre-programmed in the package is a 12-valve Cummins. So even on your common rail newer Cummins engine, when you flip it over to that thing, it gets that clackety older Cummins sound. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, I gotta find because I gotta give him a shout out.
Shootout. I guess we can see how much this is going to use for filament now that it's done. It's going to come back.
I'm just gonna be doing that in PETG, right?
No, PLA.
Are you doing it in PLA?
No.
Well, I mean, it might be all right if you don't leave it outside. Like if you just use it, and I mean, both of them are very hydroscopic. Of course, PLA would get very brittle, I think.
It could. I don't know. I've never left anything in the pool to see.
Well, you should do that. I would, but I don't have a pool.
Technically speaking, you could actually use this thing as its own has its own vacuum. You just use the half that has the grid on it and just vacuum the bottom of the pool with that. But the other one's got it's got those fancy bristles on it that brushes the crap off.
Optimal Welding is the channel I was trying to remember. Optimal Welding. And when I say he's a kid, I mean everybody's a kid to me anymore, but he is quite the young man. And I will warn you though, his videos are not family friendly language wise. He's got a Canadian potty mouth, but
remember that one time I had a Canadian potty mouth?
I do remember that time. Glenn Hoke said, I have a trash cart with a printed wheel on my first functional print. It's been outside for over 2 years and still works. Doesn't seem to be deteriorating. Is that a PLA print, Glenn? Oh yeah, he said PLA. For some reason, I thought Sean was going to be the new co-host when the stream name changed. No, we changed the stream name so that we didn't feel like we had to talk about 3D printing. Also, it still says with James and Glenn, so. Yeah. In total fairness, I've kind of burned out on 3D printing. I still like it. Like when I need something, I love having the machine. I love to be able to rapid prototype. But like the other side of it, the printing of, crap that you'll never use, drives me crazy. I just have no need for it. It drives me crazy. Do, do, do. Chris Lane said, I had a red shift knob in PLA for years, and since I made it about 80% infill, it held up really well in Florida heat, only melted a little bit on the bottom. That's pretty amazing because it gets really, really hot in the cars down here. Somebody is running circles upstairs. Well, not in my house. Yeah, I can. So you only hear the click, 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 but I can actually hear the spatial. It's like the old. Remember when you used to go see the IMAX movies? Right. They did the audio demo at the beginning. Right, the THX. Yeah, it's like that, but not as impressive. Chris Lane, what's the dimensions of the FK1 build volume again? It is 400 by 1200 by 475. I vaguely remember seeing something about FK1 printing a Benchy. Is it working again? It's not working again. It's always been working. It never stopped working. But yeah, it did. It printed this Benchy right here. I showed it off last week. Now I got to remember how, on the Prusa PLA. Sorry. No worries. On the Prusa, like the parts that you print for a Prusa printer, they've got it so that it prints a square when it's bridging stuff first, and then it prints a circle above that so that the circle has something. Because like otherwise, when it prints the circle, it's printing in midair and it's not going to do anything with it. Right. So I have to do that to these because I don't want to have support material going up through this grid to make that work. That makes sense. Yeah. I'm going to do it on the one that doesn't have the grid first because that'll be easier. But I think what we can do is that I can do. Let's see. Carl asked when I'm going to do the 1000% Benchy. Well, it's actually 1001% Benchy, and somebody already outdid it, so I kind of opted to not bother. So, and Brian said, Glenn, just randomly. Okay, so if memory serves, I think I can do this. And Old Curmudgeon said 0.2 millimeter disc in the hole, then just cut it out. I could go at it with an X-Acto knife, but I've been wanting to try the Prusa technique for a while. So I think you can do like this. No, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go back to doing it the way I usually do, because I'm just realizing that if I do it this way, those are permanent pieces. You can't then cut them out. And so it's printing in that orientation right there. Yeah, it's going to be printing down like this. I wouldn't put support material in that circle at all.
Well, so when it gets to this point, that circle will be printed on in midair, right? It's going to be printed in this orientation.
Oh, in that orientation.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this. I'll just do a minus 0.2, and then I can just peel it out with an X-Acto knife. It'll be nothing.
No, wait a minute. It's going to have to print the square that the circle is sitting on.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's going to try to draw the circle as a perimeter.
Yeah, and it won't be able to.
Right,
so this it'll just be doing lines across, and then there'll be something for the circle to be printed onto above it.
Right, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how I generally do it, and I was trying to do something different, but I think it's probably just not a good idea.
24/7 Hinky said, just got fiber to the house while checking the router settings. The date said 3rd of January, 1970. Isn't that epoch? Did we have this system all them years ago? We had Linux, or we had Unix back then. I'm pretty sure that's epoch. Anybody confirm that?
No, too lazy. I can confirm that the amount of material printing these two pieces will take is less than 200 grams for both of them, so that's not too bad. It's 1/5 of a roll.
Epoch is January 1st, 1970, so your clock had already been running for 2 days. The cross pieces need to be below the circles and outside. Well, Curmudgeon said, I use sacrificial elements like that all the time to keep supports out of the mix.
That's like the arcades and stuff that I do. I always do the single thin layer of plastic across screw holes, because even with them, you don't even have to drill them out most of the time. You can actually just push the screw right through it.
Yeah, punch the screw through it.
So this is bigger, but ultimately, same thing. She drives like crazy.
How did this stream get back to talking about 3D printing? Don't we talk about anything else around here?
Oh, I wanted to talk about the new Coke.
Well, I finished it.
Oh.
And I have to say that, like, I'm not angry. I mean, I'm angry that it's gone, but I'm not angry that they changed it.
But
It's
are you
fine.
happy? Or is it just...
My life is going to be no different. Like, I'm not going to have nightmares at night because they changed it, nor am I going to, like, go out and celebrate. It's like, whatever. Brian wants to know what slicer you use.
Depends on which printer. For the Prusa, I use Prusa slicer. And I do not have... Well, I have a couple of profiles that I've tuned a little bit for some of the stuff I do. But by and large, I find that the integrated Prusa slicers profiles are pretty decent. And then for my CR10s, I use Kira. I've tried to make the jump over to using Prusa slicers for them before, for stuff in the past. And it always comes down to, like, it's not quite doing what I want it to. So I just go back to my Kira profile and then vow to finish the Prusa profile that I built with it at some point.
Couldn't tell you the last time I used Kira. I do everything on a Prusa slicer.
I started, they were talking about Simplify 3D during Chris's stream today. I was like, do people still use Simplify 3D? And then so many people jumped up that still used it that I didn't continue on with the joke I was going to make because I didn't want to offend any people that I respect. For me, the Prusa has definitely been worth it. Not everybody will agree with this, but I think a lot of people will. The Prusa doesn't give the best quality prints out of all the printers that you can buy, but it is ridiculously reliable.
Well, and it needs tuning just like anything else. And I think that's the biggest problem is people buy them and then either take them out of the box and use them or put them together, whatever. And they think that it's going to be the greatest print ever. Yeah. And it isn't. It takes tuning just like any other printer.
And I've got this weird issue with, and there's been a couple of people in the community that have tried to help me with it. And there's also a bunch of people in the community that do have this. I have this weird sort of artifacting noise in all of my prints, and it's not terrible. It's an annoyance more than anything. And all sorts of people have come up with ways to fix it, but it's never perfect.
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't even realize that was there until you started talking about it.
Yeah, so there's there's lots of people, and then like there's even been examples where people have looked at parts that have cut like 3D, because there's 3D printed parts on the Prusa,
Right.
and they're like, oh,
That were
the
printed
noise
on
is
a
in,
Prusa.
yeah, and the noise is in those prints as well, which means that it's not necessarily isolated to the people that are building them or whatever.
No, it's like all of them.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing too, is that we don't know for sure if it's all of them or not, because when you look at your like, I can, if I hold this up, I'm going to switch to full screen first. I switched to full screen the other day.
just real quick, I wanna shift and make sure that Andy is okay, because he said sorry for disappearing. Just fell out of my wheelchair and struggled to get myself back up because I couldn't stop laughing at myself. I hope you're okay.
If he's laughing at himself, I'm thinking he's probably okay.
Yeah, but that's always scary.
It is. Okay, so if I hold this print up, looks darn near perfect until you get the light on it just right, and then you might be able to on the camera see that there's some, and it looks like, oh, it looks like it could be Z banding, except for while the lines show up kind of horizontal, they're all actually diagonal. So it's really hard to get the exact noise on the screen. So you see a lot of pictures, and it's like, oh, look at this print I just printed and off the Prusa, and it's like, oh, it looks perfect. So
Brian said it could be because it's 8-bit versus 32.
I mean, because this is a circular print, but it does show up on simple square prints and stuff as well. I imagine the next version of the Mark, well, I guess it'd probably be the Mark IV at that point. They'll go 32-bit, or because that's kind of the future for stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of where all the boards are going and stuff.
Well, either that, or maybe they'll go 8-bit with Clipper, because Clipper offloads so much of the work that the processor isn't as important.
Yeah.
Can you run Clipper? I haven't done, like, I've seen the vague amount. I haven't done any work with it. Can you run Clipper on with an 8-bit printer?
I don't know. But, speaking of Prusa, we're giving away a Prusa Mini.
Oh, that's what we settled on, too.
A Prusa Mini kit. We're going to give it away on August 15th. But don't tell anybody, because we're only giving it away to you that are here during our live stream. So keep it on the down low.
It's 2
Remember,
weeks from today.
everybody that you tell that comes in here lowers your chance of winning. That seems so backwards, doesn't it? Like,
we're not trying to grow because of this. We're trying to thank the people that have stuck it out.
yeah, it's just really backwards, because like typically you'd want people to come in because you're giving something away, but no, absolutely, we want our loyal hanger outers to have the best chance at winning. So yeah, that's going to happen on August 15th, and again, it'll be the Prusa Mini. You're responsible for your own VAT or whatever comes along with that, duties, that kind of stuff. But and if you so choose, like if you don't want the printer and you'd rather have like a printed solid gift card, we'll totally do that for you. So will that include guys that do not follow Print and Play? Well, it depends. If you just don't follow them, maybe. But if you don't follow them and you make fun of them, definitely it will include you.
Nobody has to follow me. This is a lunch channel.
No. Well, it's not even that. It's literally the people that are here during the live stream. I don't even care if you follow me or not. That's not what this is about. It's about you. It's about this crowd that is here every week or most weeks, except that one guy. If he wins, I'm going to rig it. No, I'm just kidding. So, and I think that we did decide on the email route, right? So, on the 15th, on August 15th, you will be given the instructions on what you need to do, and you need to do it like during the stream, and then I thought the giveaway was that sweet diesel truck. I'm out. I will give away the Dodge after I take the parts off that I but you're responsible for shipping. Yeah. Whew, that thing was expensive to get it here. That was like $1,500 to get it shipped here. But now I got the guy's direct phone number, so if I need something else shipped in.
I popped over to mute Nadav as a joke, but I did realize it doesn't actually give you a like an option to say how long you want to mute them for. So I want to do like 5 seconds just to. So it's automatically 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
End of the stream.
Well, I just don't like the Canadian. Whew, be careful with that. I made a comment about that maple leaf one time, and holy crap, did I take heat for that?
You know what? That's fine. Nobody can hate me more than I hate myself. So you go right ahead.
I punch myself in the face every night because I hate me so much.
I don't know why you guys are being so rough on me. I am literally one of the largest streamers on this platform.
Lars asked, is it possible to print a benchy on one of those 3D printers that print houses? Actually, I don't think so, because you can't have any overhangs with those.
No, then it's just dumping cement on whoever happens to be standing underneath it at that point.
Yeah, because there's no supports. When they print, like when it goes over the windowsills and stuff, when it gets to that point, they have to put a support in there, but it's not generated by the printer. Like they have to manually put a support in there to do the tops of the windows and stuff, the lintels. So
Glenn,
my boss is Canadian, so I'm allowed.
Glenn, I sent you a message on Twitter. I'm offended that you never replied.
Oh, good times.
Stream's almost over. Today went by pretty quick. And I got something done. I wouldn't shut up for the first half and then didn't say anything for the second, so it all balanced out.
Oh, we use ceramic and a big heater. Overhangs might work. Yeah, we just use concrete block like normal construction. Yep, 5 more minutes. God, 5 minutes. We're at the end of the stream, and I'm just now bringing up the giveaway. But that's okay.
Use ceramic and a big heater. The overhangs might work. Maybe.
Yeah, I think, there's that company that has that big printer that they printed an actual boat that they put a motor on and put it in the water. I really think those people need to print a big benchy. But I suppose it comes down to cost. I mean, that couldn't be cheap.
Also, don't forget to give Glenn a thumbs up. Doesn't affect me at all, but he gets real emotional if he doesn't meet his quota.
Yeah, I cry myself to sleep at night on my huge pillow.
For your huge head.
That's
Glenn with 2 ends. I'm not some kind of serial killer.
You know what that's a reference to, right? The huge pillow. Michael Myers. So I married an axe murderer.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it.
That boy's cranium. He's got a huge cranium, like an orange on a toothpick.
Cries himself to bed in his huge.
Oh no! He's gonna go cry himself to sleep on his huge pillow. Like
Kate and I watched half of that new Jungle Cruise movie last night.
I have access to it and have not yet watched it.
It reminds me a lot of the first Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
You have to be specific which one to remind you of because they start to get polarizing beyond a point. But Kay goes, I think this is my least favorite Dwayne Johnson movie. I said, really? Have you been paying attention? No. She was on her laptop the entire time, so she'd occasionally catch him say something funny and she'd laugh about it. So I'm like, and so then I said, oh, it's been a lot to me, like the original Pirates of the Caribbean. She's like, I'd really probably enjoy it then. She's like, now I'm sad I didn't pay attention.
Scott wants to know if we could plug IC 3D toys for tots, and absolutely.
First of all, Glenn and I have both had great experiences with IC3D in the past.
Yep, they've always taken good care of me anyway.
IC3D is the company that gave me all the filament to print the full-size 6-foot-tall arcade cabinet. But yes, every year they do a 3D printed toys for tots drive for Christmas. I haven't checked to see if they're doing a design challenge this year or not.
Third annual 3D printed Toys for Tots. The holiday season is rapidly approaching, and we are asking each and every one of the passionate 3D printing fanatics in the community to help warm the hearts of children by 3D printing articulated toys for tots. Is this the right one? This might be last year's.
I haven't read the thing this year, but I know there was some drama last year.
What was it, last year or the year? But there was drama the year before.
Maybe I'm thinking of the year before. One of the designers came out and was basically upset that I think they purchased the model or whatever, but they 3D printed the toys for tots, and they printed a bunch of them, and they gave him credit, and then somebody wrote an article about it, and the credit wasn't as well linked there as it was in the original article from IC3D. And
and he literally had a meltdown.
Yes, he came out and got real upset, and then like people are like, they're not making money off of this. They're donating all this stuff to needy kids that aren't going to have a Christmas. And I think he backed down a little bit and tried to play it off like, well, that's not my intent or whatever. But that was some drama. Look at how smooth that first layer is on that.
I'm looking for the date on this, Scott. Like the link that I clicked on said it was posted in June of 21. So then are we third? Is it the third annual or the fourth annual?
I don't know.
I've participated in two. I didn't participate last year.
Hack Monkey says that is 2020. There is a 2021 page up now.
Yeah, well, but again, like I
under About Us, I guess on their website.
Under what?
Under About Us.
Under what us?
About Us.
That's what it's all about. Okay, there we go. How about as opposed to me reading this to you, I'm just gonna put a link in the chat.
Especially since it is now 6:31, and since we obviously started perfectly on time tonight, we have to end perfectly on time.
We were a little late.
It was a joke. The whole thing was a joke.
Oh yeah, we've been live for 1 hour, 53 minutes, and 20 seconds. So that's what it's all about. I
did the hockey pocky.
So it looks like we got articulated dolphin, model and donated by Mick Guybeer, used with permission. Awesome. And then we have cute mini octopus, which was licensed by SANC, SANC, used with permission. We have an articulated triceratops. That's pretty sweet, and that was also MacGyver. Oh, I guess those are all MacGyver. Oh, there's a ton of models this year. We got some by IL3D, some by Joel Larson, which is the 3D printing professor. Andy Fuentes. How do you say that? Fuentes? I don't know. I'm just bad with that. Matthew Benoche or Bonocci, Eric Bruns. So we got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different models this year. That's pretty amazing. So Howie said, thinking you two both need to be giving a 3D printer, build it on and stream the results same time. We we should both be giving a 3D, or we should both be given a 3D printer.
I'm reading that as given. Like we should each get a 3D printer. We should do a stream where we build them simultaneously to see who gets better results out of the box.
Whew, like a contest. I don't know. Maybe we can do that in the future. We'll each order the same printer and then give them away. Or I'll just send mine to you. I just don't need any more printers.
I bought another one, which is the one I'm building tomorrow for the stream.
Right.
I've been keeping it close to the vest though. I want it to be a surprise. Because if people knew what printer it was, they probably they wouldn't want to tune in.
It could be shocking. Who knows? You know.
And a company reached out to me to ask me if I would review. They asked me if I would review an Ender 3, and I responded that I didn't think reviewing an Ender 3 at this point would increase their sales, because there are tons of Ender 3 reviews out there, and it already has a very well established user base.
Yeah.
So me jumping into a swimming pool to add water to it, like me jumping into a very well established pool is not going to do them any favors.
Yeah, to do any type of.
So they had another printer that has on paper some features that might make it better than the Ender 3, which again, like until you actually use it and see how it's executed, for roughly the same price. And when I checked, there wasn't a ton of reviews on it. So
Brian said you can never have enough. I have 13. I have 13 printers. I think
you have 13.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had 13. I killed 3. By killed 3, I mean they needed work that I didn't feel like putting into them, so I turned them into spare parts for the other ones.
Turn them into parts, right?
I don't have enough electricity down here to run 13, and the ones that I tore apart had no advantage over other ones that I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've even given away a printer to somebody who has never come to get it.
Was it Sean? Because that'd be even more ironic.
No. I gave it to a young man who occasionally comes into our chat, but and he only lives like a quarter of a mile from here, but he's just never.
So is that somebody that has 3D print in his name, or somebody that has a microcontroller board in his name?
Oh, neither either.
Oh.
No.
My actual plan right now is with the Walmart one. I'm going to build it tomorrow. I'm probably going to do a couple. I've got ideas for videos that I want to do on it, if provided it works at all. And then I have neighbors down the street whose kids are fairly fascinated with 3D printing. So I'm going to gift it to them if I can get it working well enough.
Nice. Alan said, "I'm just 6, but have room for a Prusa Mini."
I actually want to buy a Mini when money permits. I'm working because I like the idea of having that as my bring anywhere portable printer.
Right.
Because it's actually interesting that it's like half the price, but the build volume is like relatively close to the full size thing. Like it's an inch and a bit off in each direction or whatever. And I also want to, since I've got drawers full of spare parts, buy all the parts from AliExpress to build a clone and put it head to head with the original one to see. I would imagine that if you buy the clone parts, it'll probably print just as well. But what I think will happen is that it won't last as long.
Right.
It'll need maintenance more frequently. So I was going to originally buy the Mini clone and put those two together, but the savings on the Mini is like less than $100 between buying the original or the clone. If you buy the Mark 3S, the difference was like almost half the price. So, I can't be like, yeah, save yourself $100, buy the no-name parts, and hopefully it doesn't burn your house down.
Right. Well, hopefully none of them burn your house down. So.
You never know.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay. Only thing I have at least one video coming out this week. If everything goes well for the next 5 weeks, I will have a video every week between here and my retro tech channel. It'll bounce back and forth. and I have a live stream tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. I am planning from 2 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, where I build a $100 printer I bought through Walmart. That's it.
All right. Well, if all goes according to normal plan, I will not have any videos out this week because I just don't do it anymore. There's just no good ideas that haven't already been done.
Doesn't mean you can't redo them, man.
No, but on the back end of that, yeah. But if you do a video that somebody else has already done, oh my God, the crap that you get for that. But no, I mean in the back end, as soon as I can. Well, in the back end, as soon as I can be mobile again, it is getting better. I can walk now. There was a very short period of time where I couldn't even walk. It was that bad. But as the back heals, we are working on stuff for Fun King Garage. So that'll be good. I'm excited about that stuff that's coming up. And not saying that you should, but any of my Patreon supporters on Fun King Garage, which right now is 0, but whatever. I am releasing tidbits over there, so I'm just saying. Did
you end up starting up a second Patreon for it?
Yes, it has its own Patreon.
I've been debating whether or not I'm going to split or not. So far, I've kept one Patreon for both Print and Play and Print and Play Retrospective, but Print and Play Retrospective has one video in 2 years, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, my thought is that everything is really shifting over to the garage side anyway, and they're two so different topics. Like the people on the 3D side aren't necessarily going to care about what I'm releasing.
Yeah, automotive versus technology versus my stuff is at least some tech versus some tech.
As Filament Frenzy slides in right at the last moment, but welcome anyway. Welcome, even though we're wrapping up. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to keep the two as separate as possible with the occasional overlap, So,
well, because no matter what, like one of the videos I'm working on right now, I 3D print parts because they're not parts that'll necessarily readily available for an old computer anymore. So, good way to do it.
Right. Well, and I have the same kind of stuff too. Like, there is actually a video that I will be releasing on Fun King 3D for a piece that I printed for Fun King Garage. So like that's gonna start eventually. Like they're gonna wrap around to one another at times. But yeah, I actually the main reason that I had that I'd set that Patreon up for Fun in the Country Basement back before they changed the fee schedule and stuff, just to kind of hold on to it just in case we ever decided that we wanted it, and we never ended up using it. So I just rebranded it for Fun King Garage. So patreon.com/Fun King Garage. All right, I will stop prostituting myself. And I will very nicely say thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in again this week. Because without you, these streams would be absolutely senseless to do. It would be just James and I talking to one another, and we definitely wouldn't need to do that on YouTube. But no, it is always fun to hang out with all you guys. You're very good and interactive. We love the banter back and forth. We love the input that you guys give. It looks like David from Printed Solid was the long holder for sponsorship today, but we appreciate everybody that contributes, both cash wise, which is always nice, but in every way. So don't ever feel that that's like a necessity to be here. But it's thanks to Coke Zero. Thanks, Mark. It's always appreciated. Yeah, thank you guys. And we'll do it again next week. Remember the secret information I told you. And as always, until next time,